Welcome back everyone to another mod showcase, and today we're going to be doing a review for the Frostiful mod. And what this mod does, it just adds a different thermal feature, which is freezing. And you're probably wondering what you mean by freezing, like packed snow freezing? Yes, like that. But anyways, we are going to show you what happens when you enter a biome that's basically cold. So we are in a, let me check the F3. And I'm trying to see where are we, because we're in a very cold biome and it says overworld, but it specifically states like what biome you're in. But we're in a colder part, so you can see that my heart is beginning to freeze, like it's slowly creeping up. So it's going to get very cold if you're not aware, and then once you get to like full hearts, then you start to freeze and shiver and everything. And you can see it's already taken up like one of my hearts, so I'm like, there, and it says advancement made, Frostiful. Yeah, of course, it's the name of the mod. But if you want to stay warm, you could either get near these sun lichen thingies, but they burn you a little bit, but it's still quite helpful. And you can also stand near lava just to stay warm, because this mod basically adds a temperature which you gotta avoid freezing. But I'm going to read the overview of what this mod is about. So as it says, Frostiful is a Vanilla Plus mod and survival temperature mod that substantially reworks the powder snow freezing mechanics. It introduces more ways of freezing and being frozen, as well as new methods of warming up again. And okay, I accidentally click off the screen. Let me just do it that way. There we go. So yeah, so that's what it does. And it says, want to try something a little warmer? Try Scorchiful. So I guess Scorchiful is like the opposition of being cold and you just being hot. So I think for this one, you have to try to stay warm, while the other one, you got to cool down. So let me just read a little bit here. So it says freezing. There are now more ways to freeze to death in addition to powdered snow with Frostiful installed. Passive freezing, icicles, and new enchantments are some of the exciting ways that you can now freeze to death. I mean, what is so exciting about freezing to death? I mean, people are trying to avoid freezing. And it also adds an ice villager and different structures and everything just to bring that quality of life feeling into Minecraft. But I think that's all for the overview. So now I'm going to show you guys is the items. So what we have right here is some packed snowballs. And if you want to know how to make those, just use just enough items or roughly enough items to know how to craft them. But I'll say packed snowballs, they are pretty much like the stronger version of the snowballs. But I'm trying to figure out if they're like craftable. I'm not sure why I can't craft them, but you can make packed snow. So let me just go into this chest just to get the items, because we're going to be reviewing a few things in here. So we have like its fur hoodies and fur padded armor. So these stuff actually just keeps you warm. You also have ice skates and armored skates. I believe this just allows us to, I guess, travel on ice a little easier instead of just slipping and sliding all over the place. But if you want to know how to craft those, what you're going to need is a lot of tuft of animal fur. I would say any type, like polar bears, ocelots. It's kind of crazy that you're going to get that type of fur. And for the padded, it's going to be the leather. Let me see here. I mean, I'm still quite fresh to this stuff, but let me just look through here. But you're going to have to look through the crafting ingredients, because this is not what it's about. We're mostly just showcasing the experience of the mod. So you can actually make the fur padded armor, which is going to require some other tools. And then we have different smithing templates. And in order to get these, you're going to have to go to the temples or the structures where the ice villager resides. And the inert cloak of frostology, it is inert. I don't know what inert is, but I may have to look up that term inert. And we also have the frost wand, which I believe you probably got to get this from killing the ice villager. And in order to get this, you're going to need icicles, glacial heart, and 2 frozen rods, blue ice. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be obsessed with cold and freezing. And this is also the new enchantment, which is Enervation, which pulls heat from other mobs and it just keeps you warm and just makes them freeze. That's kind of what it does. It's a very simple mod, But now I want to try out those snowballs because I believe these can be crafted, but I'm still trying to figure out the recipe. So let me see here. It's quite strange that we can't craft them, but you probably want to know what they do. So this is a cow, right? Ow, 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 ow. Did I really just step back on this? Oh yeah, be warned. You don't want to accidentally, step back there. And if you do, it says use sunlisten to warm yourself. I mean, it gave me a huge shock in the back. But anyways, so we have these packed snowballs, and they're like the stronger version of the snowball. So usually the snowball that we're currently used to is basically like friendly fire. But these here, they're a little bit dangerous. So cow, you're going to have to, withstand the pressure of these packed ice of balls. So let me just throw it at you. You can see that the cow is basically just in pain right now, and he just died. And I'm going to spawn in an iron golem just to show how long these, how strong these ice balls are. Look at that. It's basically, I would say it's fairly strong, but you can see that he is freezing too. That's actually a good sensation to let me know that, yeah, you can basically freeze players with these snowballs. Like, I just imagine just doing this, killing an iron golem with packed snowballs. So, yeah, I feel bad for him already. And we're going to try this wand. Let me see how this works. I never tried it before. And look at this wand. It looks pretty good as it's rendered. So all we got to do is charge it, I believe. Oh, he basically got frozen in there. Oh, that's pretty cool. You just charge it. Like, look at that. It's like holding a bow, and then you go, boom. He's literally just frozen in ice. That is pretty cool. You can stun like mobs, maybe like the warden and maybe some other mobs that you probably have struggled with. But man, this iron golem is taking a beating from snow. Very interesting in a scientific way. Like, how is iron feeling this pain with snow? Hey, look at that. He's gone. That is actually pretty neat to have. And the frost one also has durability. So is there anything else that I'm going to check in here? I'm just going to wear the fur padded suit. Just aware that it's quite similar to iron. Interestingly, it's like similar to that. And it can only be repaired with iron ingots. But I recommend wearing mending. But I'm trying to understand this inert cloak. Like, how is that obtained? I think you can probably get this from killing the ice illager in one of those structures. And then you can make the cloak of Frostiful. I don't know why anybody wants to make that, but this thing is probably like bended. Like, I don't want to be bended to this. And if you do, it requires icicles, fur padding, glacial hearts, and the cloak itself. And then it just barely comes off, and frost resistance is low. I really don't know the perk of it. So let me just try the cloak of Frostology. All right, so yeah, it's pretty much just a regular cloak. What do I do with this? Does it make me stronger or what? I don't know, but I may have to read a little more about that object. Frostility and the rebranded Ice Illager. Frostility is a new form of Illager magic that deals with all matters of cold and frost. Frost Illagers are a new take on the Ice Illager from Minecraft Dungeons. They are the master of this magic. They reside in their snowy fortress in the snowy plains and ice spikes biomes, where they are surrounded by an army of Chillagers at their call. Chillagers wield crossbows loaded with glacial arrows that are capable of long-distance freezing. Having mastered the magic of frost, the Frost Illager is not immune to freezing, but is instead strengthened by it. When they are cold, they gain tremendous power. However, that power is lost if they warm up again. So that's how it is. So if you try to get warmed up, it's going to basically weaken them. That's very interesting. So when I was actually trying to hold this when reading, it actually gave me fatigue and weakness, and it damages me. That's quite interesting. Let me just take this inert cloak off of me. If I try to hold it, yeah, I'll say I better not wear this because this thing is probably going to kill me. But, yeah, if I just hold inert, I think everything is all normal. But it's very strange. So if I just put this on, oh no, This is going to hurt. Ow. Basically, you slowly die to this thing. Okay, yeah, you cannot come out of it. So, yeah, the only way you can take it off is going to creative mode. But this thing kills you. I don't even know why would anybody want to wear that. But we got the inert cloak of Frostology. I think that's fine enough. So let me go back to survival. And what we're going to do now is look for the structure that has the dungeons and everything. And I might try on some ice skates. Yeah, try on some ice skates. And why does it give me slowness? That's quite interesting for it to give us slowness. So we're going to go ahead and look for the structure. And I probably didn't mention about this sun lichen thing. It also regenerates too, so that's pretty good. And you can find these in the taiga biomes, on rocks. I'm not sure if they're harvestable. You might get some shears to probably get more of this, so you can always stay warm, and it can always regenerate the heat that you requested. Alright, so I have teleported to the structure, and this is what it looks like. It's actually a nice ice castle with new block variants, such as like ice bricks, snow bricks, and everything. You can see all the ice illagers. It's very interesting. And it kind of also gives me the feel of trial chambers as well. Like you can get castle keys and ominous keys. It's basically like trial chambers but on the surface. And let me just try this. Yeah, packed in. Interesting. Find the Ice Illager's castle. Dude, does it drop us rewards? Let's see. I just want to see if this thing works. There we go. So it drops us fireballs to keep us warm, emerald blocks. I'll say the loot tables is quite variable, but you can see that they do have a similar equivalence. And what is this? Oh yeah, we're wearing ice skates. This is actually pretty useful to like skate on ice, but it's kind of classy. Like, look at this. We're just skating on ice, and it just sounds so satisfying. But anyways. Yeah, so that's pretty much for this structure. And then when you get to the inside, it's basically more looting, more raiding, a lot of icicles. And then you probably got to go up to the tower. I think this is when you encounter the boss. And the boss is probably within this area or probably another room higher. Yeah, this is kind of my first time reviewing the Frostiful mod. Mostly I just do a lot of tech mods or just simple mods, but this is interesting. And I think this is the throne room, so I think this is the place where you actually have to fight him here. Like, you gotta deal with all these icicles, spawning icicles that's dropping on you. You're gonna have to learn to adapt, but it's basically a nice place to chill. But the only issue is the spawners, which kind of just makes things a little bit harder to I guess, reside in this area. But yeah, I think that is going to wrap up for the showcase. But man, skating is just very satisfying. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this showcase. And if you do, I am very grateful. And wait a minute. Wait, why is my head having a little bit of ice? Wait a second. Wait, why is my hair having a little bit of ice? Okay, this is kind of new. Like, wait. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I thought it was like I was freezing or something. That would probably be like a very interesting feature that they added in here. But yeah, I guess that is going to conclude for the showcase. But if you like it, then I'm very grateful. We'll review another mod. I'm not sure if I'm going to review Frostiful, not Frostiful, Scorchful. Since Scorchful is pretty much the heated version of Frostiful. But I'm just going to see what mod we're going to showcase next. But until then, I'll see you guys with another mod showcase. And I also forgot one more thing as well. The creator of this is TheDeathlyCow. Yeah, give credit to TheDeathlyCow for making this mod. But if I do want to review Scorchful, put your comments down in the description. Or not in the description, because you can't do that. Leave your comments down below on if I should review Scorchful. But until then, see you guys with another mod showcase, and goodbye.